Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. This is I think my fifth attempt to try actually do a recording. Every single time I either have a client coming through on trying to communicate with me, or my first video was a bit too negative, so I thought, oh no, I can't be too negative about Springbok Rugby, because obviously it goes against the complete ethos of this channel. But I was actually going to continue my conversation about Springbok Rugby selection for 2018, and I was going to talk about the 9 and 10, a pretty critical kind of position in any rugby team, 9 and 10. So I think especially in South Africa, as a 9, South Africa's traditionally always had when they've done well, they've had a really good number 9, a number 9 that really does a lot of the decisions for the 10. So yeah, but I actually watched a show last night with Sir John Kerwin, and they were talking about who they'd select as the back three for the All Blacks, and I was actually quite surprised on the choices that they came up with, because and it's really started making me think, the amount of depth that the All Blacks have at most of these positions. But I think when I was watching the show, they were talking about that they'd have Ben Smith on wing. I'm going, well, okay, if you've got Ben Smith on wing, then you've got Rieko Ioane and you've got Wasaki Naholo. One of them can't be the wing then. Okay, so then obviously they want Rieko Ioane playing on centre, and you're going, okay, well, if Rieko Ioane is playing on centre, is he a better centre than Ryan Crotty? Then is Ryan Crotty a better centre than Sonny Bill Williams? We've got Anton Leonard-Brown. So it actually has a complete knock-on effect. And if you look at the 5-3 split now, that you obviously have 5 forwards on the bench and 3 backs, it actually makes making the selection for the All Blacks quite difficult. If you look at normally scrum-half, you generally replace at the 60th minute, because it's quite a dynamic position. So you've got Aaron Smith, best scrum-half in the world by a long shot, followed by TJ Perenara, excellent. You've got Bowen Barrett at 10, World Player of the Year 2 years in a row, and Damian McKenzie is now taking on 10. And the nice thing with Damian McKenzie is obviously he can back up 10 and 15. Then we're talking the centres. You're talking Ryan Crotty, Sonny Bill Williams, Lamape, Anton Leonard-Brown, Minos Scudder. So many players that they can choose from. The wings: Rieko Ioane, Wasaki Naholo, Ben Smith, Israel Dag, up-and-coming players, even players that have already played, Geordie Barrett. So look at the amount of depth and the amount of players that they can choose for each position. And it's not like they're choosing players that are going to on their debut. Most of these players have already been blooded. They've already done their internationals. They've already done 1 or 2 games, either playing off the bench or they've actually started. So it made me start really thinking and looking at the Springbok lineup for the backs, from a pure experience kind of point of view, and do we have the kind of players that can compete against those kind of players? Because ultimately, if you want to be the best in the world, you're going to have to beat New Zealand at some point. So it really made me took quite a critical eye on the Springbok side. And I've been watching Super Rugby, and there's some amazing talent coming through. Centres, wings, very dynamic centres, very dynamic wings that are coming through that I think are going to be game changers in the next couple of years. But we've got to look at what's available right now. And so I'm going to look at the back row as a whole, and then try compare them against their New Zealand counterparts. So now we take position 9, a scrum-half. So obviously, New Zealand, they've got Aaron Smith. I don't think we have anyone at position 9 that can compete at that kind of level against Aaron Smith. I think maybe Ruan Pina's got the skill level to be able to do it. I know he's a little bit older, 34, but I think he's the only one that has that kind of that maturity and the skill level. I know our incumbent is Ross Cronje, who's good, but I don't know if he's good at that kind of level. We've obviously got Faf, who's playing overseas. He's playing very, very well overseas. but is he also on that same kind of level? We got Hougaard, who had an atrocious year last year, but looking at his club playing up north, he's having a great season, and he really fits into the structure as well there. So, and even looking at all the Super Rugby teams, I haven't really seen anyone stand out as like leaps ahead. I'm talking Joost van der Westhuizen and Fourie du Preez kind of level. Do we have anyone that kind of caliber that can obviously steer us at position 9? 10, I'd say for me the incumbent is Handré Pollard. I think he's probably got the BMT, big match temperament. Obviously got Yankees who can play off the bench. Yankees comes in and out of games. I think at Super Rugby level he's phenomenal. It just last year he had. I honestly feel when he's given the freedom to play the way he wants to play, he really can take control over the game. Whereas I think Handré Pollard, is he at Beauden Barrett's kind of level? I'd say not yet, but I think he should be. It's also pretty unfair to compare him to Beauden Barrett, especially in the All Black setup. You take Beauden Barrett, gets given a ball that's perfect, that's given to him perfectly from Aaron Smith, fast, no stepping, straight from the base of the ruck or from any position. And even if Beauden Barrett does a little bit of a mistake passing it on, you've got Sonny Bill Williams who has the skill to be able to catch the ball and pass it on. So he's surrounded by excellent players. So it actually makes him a much better player. He has the freedom to make mistakes. He has the time to look up and see what's going on. And so that 9, 10, 12, I feel is super important. Now, Handré Pollard, who does he have at 12 that can, that can be acceptable? I know Damien Delenge is playing exceptionally well this year. I know last year it was Jan Serfontein. He played extremely well. I still feel last year, even in the Rugby Championship, Jan Serfontein was probably the best centre across all the countries. But obviously he's not playing there at the moment. So we go further along down the line, we've got the 2 centres. So we take a look at the centres. I still think Jan Serfontein is probably one of the better ones. I can never remember the guy's name who went overseas. Frans Steyn, excellent centre. How can I forget Frans Steyn? Then Jesse Kriel. At the moment, I still think Jesse Kriel is probably very underrated. I think by a country mile, he's probably one of our best backs, if not our best centre. He's playing exceptionally good rugby at the moment. And the beauty with Jesse Kriel is he knows how to play the Springboks. He's been at that kind of level. He's faced the All Blacks before. So I think it always reminds me like a Ryan Crotty, Jesse Kriel, dynamic, hard. So from that point of view, I think we're pretty okay. Then I start looking at the wings, and I start thinking, geez, if we have Ben Smith, or I probably rate as one of the greatest players in the world at the moment. Smart, intelligent, just a real game player, not flashy or anything like that. I just think he's superb. And do we have anyone of that kind of? I don't think we have anyone of that kind of caliber. I think any team in the world would love to have a Ben Smith. Rico Ioane, Wasaki Naholo. So we had Skosan, we had Dylan Lates. I know we had Raymond Rule for a bit. At the moment at Super Rugby level, our big finishers are Pimpy. Coming back to the centres, we've got Lukonya Arm, who I think is an excellent rugby player. But I'm trying to look at the wings. Now, I've got to be honest, guys, I don't get to watch all the games. I have to have a life. I've got to spend time with the family. Not I have to, I want to spend time with my family. And so I don't get to watch all the games. And so I look for people's feedback. I give the videos, and I'd like people to share who they think are up-and-coming stars. Okay, we carry on down. Now we take somebody like Andries Coetzee, who's probably the incumbent fullback at the moment. And it's so strange. I look at Andries Coetzee and he always reminds me of Damien McKenzie. And they fairly have similar kind of game kind of styles. It's just, it seems like Andries Coetzee runs into contact, and David McKenzie you just can't touch. So yeah, I'm still super positive about Springbok rugby this year. It's just, I'm just trying to compare it apples for apples, and to be the best in the world, that's the team we have to beat. We have to beat New Zealand at some point. If we want to win the World Cup, New Zealand you have to beat New Zealand. Any team in the world has to beat New Zealand. And do we compare? Do we have the players that compete at that kind of level? Do we have the players? We've got the athletes. We've got. I feel we've got the depth. Our skill level might be a little bit not on the same level. Maybe our fitness is a little bit off. But yeah, I'm trying to think of a background. I really need some input here, you know, because it was quite easy for me to put Handré Pollard in because he is probably the best. It was quite easy to put Jesse Creel in. It started getting a little bit difficult trying to fill the other positions, because it's also so difficult because a lot of the players haven't been blooded. They haven't played in the internationals. They haven't stepped up to that kind of level. I know Warwick Gelant he got his first game and he was played out of position, and he was really found wanting playing out of position, and I think that probably did more damage to him than anything else. Your first Springbok game and you're playing on the wing, when your entire season you've never played on the wing, you've always played fullback. So it's just interesting. I must apologise if anyone's New Zealand and I butchered some of the names. I was going to say English is not my first language, when actually it is my first language, but I don't have the same colloquialisms or the same Maori accents and stuff like that, so I may get the names completely wrong. You're probably all laughing at me or whatever, but I'm just trying to choose a team that I know that can compete. I know we've got England this year. I still predict that we're going to beat them 2-1. I think we're on the up. I think we're going to beat Wales in the UK. We're going to beat New Zealand this year. It'll be the home game at Loftus that we'll win. I don't think we're going to win away against New Zealand. But yeah, those are what I'm looking at. It's just I just want to choose a side that I know that can compete at that kind of level, that we can grow with, and I also think we need to take a few steps back and say, okay, you know, we've had a rough couple of years. I think our roughness started from when we lost to Japan. I think that really knocked us for a 6, because we shouldn't have been in that position, and we allowed ourselves to be in that position, and I think we suffer from a real serious lack of self-confidence from then, and it seemed to have got worse. You know, we lost to Japan, lost to Italy, I'm sure we've lost to somebody else. The two atrocious losses to New Zealand, the atrocious loss to the Irish. But then I look at the Cape Town test, and you know, we lost by 1 point to New Zealand. It's quite strange, you know. As a South African, I was so happy that we only lost by 1 point, you know, but it was still a loss. So it's just kind of strange. I just know that this year it's going to be a little different. I'm just concerned about the back row, the back line. I don't know where we're going to get the players from that can fill those kind of positions with the kind of experience that we need to be able to compete at top tier level. But listen, guys, you know, I value input here. I'm trying to select a Springbok side. I think my next show I'll do my selection, who I think should be in the Springbok team. But I'm just giving my opinion on trying to compare apples for apples, you know, and say, okay, this is who the best is. Who can we select that can compete against that? And that's what I'm trying to do in these kind of shows. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. Please share if you can. Please give the thumbs up. Please follow. Please do everything that you can to try get the channel out there. And please give me your comments. You know, tell me what you think. You know, tell me you think I'm being an idiot, and you know, I should look at these kind of players, because like I said, I'm sure no one else can watch all the games. I know I can't watch all the games, and as a community we can figure out what a good side is. But thanks guys for watching. Chat soon. Cheers.